Good evening, dear viewers. Your presence here means you're ready to dive into the chilling depths of the unknown, the echo of silence, the aroma of old paper, and the labyrinth of bookshelves, libraries. These seemingly peaceful sanctuaries of knowledge can sometimes harbor tales as spine-chilling as the darkest corners of a haunted mansion. Tonight, we will be delving into 3 true and disturbing library horror stories. Each tale is a testament to the inexplicable, a journey into the eerie unknown that lurks in the shadows of these hallowed halls of wisdom. So, brace yourself as we turn the pages of these chilling chronicles that have been whispered in hushed tones behind the tall, looming bookshelves. But be forewarned, these stories are not for the faint-hearted. Before we begin, remember to hit that subscribe button and like this video if you're ready to uncover the mysteries that await. Our first tale transports us to a quiet library, a sanctuary of knowledge, where the silence was shattered by an unwelcome guest. Picture a quaint, almost forgotten library nestled in the heart of a small town. A location where the whispers of time echoed off the ancient, dusty books. This was a place where the silence was cherished, a haven for those seeking solace in the arms of literature. But, as we'll soon find out, not every story within these hallowed halls was printed on the pages of a book. Our tale begins on a late autumn evening. The librarian, a woman of middle age and stern demeanor, had just settled into her routine of cataloging new arrivals. The usual peacefulness of the library was suddenly disrupted by the faint, distant sound of a child's laughter. It was an eerie, unsettling sound in the otherwise quiet building, especially considering the library was closed to the public at this hour. The librarian, a woman not easily frightened, began to investigate. She followed the sound, growing louder and more persistent, leading her to the children's section of the library. There, amidst the colorful books and miniature furniture, she found nothing. The laughter had stopped. The silence was once again absolute. Days turned into weeks, and the spectral laughter became a recurring nightmare. It would always begin at the same time when the librarian was alone, and always from the children's section. No matter how many times she searched, she found nothing. No hidden speakers, no pranksters hiding in the shadows, just an empty room filled with an inexplicable dread. As the weeks turned into months, the librarian's fear turned into obsession. She began to delve into the history of the library, searching for any clue that might explain the spectral laughter. What she found sent chills down her spine. Decades ago, a young boy had met an untimely end in the library. He was a regular visitor, always found in the children's section, always laughing. His laughter, it seemed, had become a permanent fixture in the library, a silent specter that refused to leave. The librarian, now a believer of the supernatural, no longer feared the spectral laughter. Instead, she accepted it as part of the library's history, a chilling reminder of the past. But acceptance did not bring peace. The laughter continued, a haunting echo that shattered the library's silence every single night. The silent specter vanished as mysteriously as it came, leaving behind a chilling tale of fear and disbelief. This tale, like the spectral laughter, remains a permanent fixture in the library's history, a stark reminder that not all stories are confined to the pages of a book. Some, it seems, prefer to dwell in the silent corners of a library, waiting for the right moment to make their presence known. Our next tale takes us to an ancient library where the dust-laden books held secrets far more terrifying than anyone could imagine. In the heart of an old, forgotten city stood a library, its walls echoing with whispers of a time long past. This library, majestic yet eerie in its silence, held an enchanting charm for those who loved the scent of old books and the thrill of unearthing hidden knowledge. However, for the night watchman, it was a place of unease, where the line between reality and imagination often blurred. Every evening as the sun set, painting the sky a deep crimson, the watchman would embark on his solitary rounds, He was a brave man, unafraid of the dark, yet something about the library unsettled him. The shadows seemed to dance on the walls, and the silence was often broken by the soft rustling of pages turning, even when no one was there. One winter's night, as a thick fog rolled in, enveloping the city in a ghostly shroud, the watchman experienced something that would forever haunt his dreams. He had just finished his rounds and was about to settle down with a cup of hot tea when he heard a faint sound. It was a soft, rhythmic tap, 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 echoing through the vast halls of the library. Curious and a tad bit alarmed, he decided to investigate. The sound led him to the oldest section of the library, a place where the most ancient and precious manuscripts were kept. As he pushed open the creaky door, he was greeted by a sight that made his blood run cold. There, amidst the towering shelves of books, was a specter. Dressed in an old-fashioned librarian's attire, it was hunched over an antique desk, engrossed in a book. Its fingers tapped rhythmically on the wooden surface, creating the tapping sound that had drawn the watchman. Frozen in fear, the watchman watched as the specter slowly lifted its head, revealing two hollow eyes that glowed with an otherworldly light. It stared at him for what seemed like an eternity. Then, with a swift movement, it disappeared, leaving behind a chilling gust of wind and an open book on the desk. The watchman, gathering his courage, approached the desk. The book that lay open was an old, leather-bound volume filled with ancient symbols and cryptic writings. It was believed to be a catalogue of the spirits that roamed the library, a chilling testament to the library's haunted past. This encounter marked the beginning of a series of chilling events. Books would fly off the shelves, spectral voices would echo through the halls, and the watchman would often catch glimpses of the ghostly librarian, forever engrossed in its eternal reading. Despite these occurrences, the watchman continued his duty, his fear gradually replaced with a strange respect for the library and its spectral inhabitant. The library, he realized, was a realm where the living and the dead coexisted, each lost in their quest for knowledge. The haunting of the old library remains unsolved, a chilling reminder of the horrors that lurk in the forgotten corners of our world. Our final tale revolves around a cursed manuscript, a book that brought with it a tale of horror and dread. In the quiet town of Dunwich, nestled in the heart of England, there was a library. This was no ordinary library, but one that held secrets as old as the town itself. Among the rows of dusty books and ancient scrolls, there stood a book that was feared by all who knew of its existence. This was the Cursed Manuscript. The manuscript was said to have been penned by a mad monk in the Dark Ages, a man who was rumored to have made a pact with the devil himself. The contents of the manuscript were said to contain knowledge of the darkest arts, secrets not meant for mortal men. But the true horror of the manuscript lay not in its contents, but in the curse that it carried. The legend goes that any who dared to read from the manuscript were doomed to suffer a terrible fate. One by one, librarians who had dared to open the book met with untimely deaths, their lives claimed by the curse of the manuscript. One such story is of a young librarian named Peter. Peter was a scholar, a man of science who did not believe in curses or the supernatural. He scoffed at the tales of the cursed manuscript, dismissing them as mere superstitions. One fateful night, driven by curiosity and the spirit of debunking, Peter decided to read the manuscript. As he read, he began to feel a chill in the room. The air grew heavy, and the flickering candlelight cast eerie shadows on the walls. Peter felt a sense of dread creeping over him, but he pushed it aside and continued to read. As he delved deeper into the manuscript, he began to hear whispers in the room, whispers that seemed to come from the book itself. The whispers grew louder, morphing into an unintelligible cacophony that filled the room. Peter, now terrified, tried to close the book but found that he could not. His hands were frozen, his eyes glued to the pages of the manuscript. The whispers grew louder and louder until they were all he could hear. The next morning, Peter was found dead in the library, his eyes wide open in terror, the cursed manuscript open on his lap. The cause of his death was never determined, but those who knew of the curse had no doubt about what had claimed his life. From then on, the cursed manuscript was locked away, never to be read again. But the legend of the cursed manuscript lives on, a chilling reminder of the horrors that can lurk within the pages of a book. The cursed manuscript continues to haunt those who dare to read it, a testament to the power of fear and the unknown. These are but a few of the countless true library horror stories that send shivers down our spine. As we draw to a close, let's take a moment to reflect on the chilling tales we've unearthed. We began our journey with the Silent Specter, an eerie entity that roamed the library after dark, forever searching for a piece it could not find. Its presence, a chilling reminder that even in the quietest corners of the world, there are forces that defy understanding. Then, we ventured into the haunting of the old library, a place where books whisper secrets from the past and the air is thick with mystery. Here, we encountered spirits that refused to rest, forever bound to the dusty shelves and ancient texts. Our final tale took us to the Cursed Manuscript, a book steeped in darkness and despair. Every reader ensnared by its sinister spell, a grim testament to the power that words can wield when they spring from the depths of the unknown. These tales, though distinct, share a common thread. They remind us that horror isn't confined to the pages of a book or the frames of a movie. It lurks in the shadows, in the ordinary places we frequent, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. As we bid adieu to these haunted libraries, let's not forget that these stories, terrifying as they may be, are a part of our collective past. They are the whispers of forgotten souls, the echoes of hidden fears, and the reminders of the mysteries that surround us. But for now, we must step back into the light, leaving the darkness behind, carrying with us the stories that have touched our hearts and chilled our bones. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like this video and comment below with your thoughts. Until next time, stay safe and remember, not all horrors are fictional.